Let's see the red dot. There it is.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Podfathers, the best parenting podcast in the universe, tolerated by Barstool Sports. It's your pal Clem here. That was Pop at the top, fucking with me as we started this episode. We got Daddy Boy down in Texas, and we got ourselves another parent coming into the Barstool Sports web. Congratulations, one Casey Smith. Casual Saturday night blog just decided to light the blog on fire for a bit. We have a new member of the family joining the pod fam, and we are very excited for her. I feel like we probably should have had her on this episode, huh? Looking back.
Maybe, but hindsight's 2020. Don't do this to yourself, Clem. By the way, before we move any further, if you're not watching on the YouTube, Clem, the fact that you had this view at your disposal for the last 6 years, and I've been staring at your fucking mini blinds for the last 6 years is egregious. You have wonderful trees, movie posters, a beautiful man cave behind you, and I've been deprived all these years. Explain yourself.
Your boy Clem really fucked up here, Chaps, which is a very consistent thing. It's part of my brand. It's fucking up, I would say. And yeah, right behind me, people on the YouTube can see, that's where the Street Fighter used to be, right next to the door. Move the Street Fighter to the kids' room. They love it. So then I was like, oh, let's just start moving it around, because I spent, I don't know, years of my life during the most depressing part of all of our lives during COVID the last few years. So I was like, let's just kind of freshen it up a little. And I changed it. And by the way, the blinds, I'll admit, they were absolutely disgusting. My wife has been looking to take these down for years now. They're coming down now, which you won't even see them anymore, unfortunately. And we open up the room. Look at the natural light I got going down here, Chaps.
You look fucking gorgeous, Clem. You look great. I mean, I bet it puts a pep in your step. I'm ready for this show. I feel like you're going to be coming out fucking haymakers, ready to rock, ready to rebuke Bluey, maybe take back a rebuke.
Yeah,
it's hard to say. There's lots of stuff on the table with Bluey.
We got a lot of stuff on the table. We have Bluey. We have some Disney chat. We have maybe even some mailbag. But it definitely does freshen you up, as crazy as it sounds. And this thing is, we did like a nice end of summer clean out because we're going to the fall soon. It's going to be absolute chaos in the streets, in the house. So it's like, let's just get this place looking as good as it can before the cold weather hits and we are stuck inside and destroying our house all over again. But it does feel good. You get kind of a different look into the house for all the Barstool podcasts, which I feel like that was kind of my brand. I had the little Barstool flag, which is right in front of me now. That's kind of, you just kind of identify with that. So our boy Large, he moved recently. Obviously, you changed your scenery there once you moved houses. So it is a big it's a big step. We were on my mom's basement, Robbie and I. Robbie basically spent, I think, like 4 days doing nothing but puking after he had his wisdom teeth out. And people are like, Clem, I feel bad for Robbie, but you buried the lead. You changed the background of your recording studio. So that's on me. I fucked up, but we're in a good place now. We're in a better place. So we'll see how much longer Podfathers is on the air. But as long as it is, we have a brand new background. It's beautiful.
Large, big news in your world. One of your buddies from Barstool Breakfast back in the fold at Barstool with Francis Ellis joining us again.
Yeah, Francis is back. So I'm extremely excited about that. It'd be nice to see him. I've always said I think he's one of the more talented people I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
All the way around, in whatever industry, just an immensely talented guy who just ask him. So I'm very excited about that. I was the one that was bringing him back first because we were doing the Barstool Breakfast reunion, Twisted History of Barstool Breakfast, and then so Dave and Eddie were nice enough to say, hey, we won't have him on until you guys have him on.
How did Eddie say that?
Hey, Large, Dave just told me that he said you could have Francis, and I was thinking about having Francis on the show, but we don't want to run you over. So could you let me know? I said, Eddie, I will. I'm just waiting on Willie, and Willie wound up not being able to get the nod for it. So I'm waiting. And then in the interim, Roan, like Enos or one of those.
Son of a boy dad.
Yes. There you go. Had done it without talking to Eddie or myself or anything like that. They just had done it because those guys are very close with Francis. Sass does stand up with them. So Francis came in, banged one of those out. I wasn't able to get Willie, so then he wound up doing the Dave Portnoy show, and that's when they sort of solidified it, signed it. He's getting married, Francis, getting married in the interim between here and there. And then I guess when he gets back from his honeymoon, it's all systems go. I've been sending him stories about missing people, and it's just saying dibs. dibs. I just disagree with them. So
Really funny tweet from Nate too. It was like maybe an hour and a half after Dave announced that Francis was coming back. There was a story of somebody that was tracked like in a car and they weren't okay. And Nate was like, "Hey man, if you want to blog this, it'd be a welcome back blog."
yeah. So that's it. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do with them. I know he's got a bunch of stuff lined up already with some of the other dudes, but I'm looking forward to seeing Francis in the office.
Everyone's really excited about Francis to come back, except for I think the editors and the blog now, where it's like you have to edit that shit, and if you don't, he's going to probably be very upset about it. But we love Francis here. You think maybe could you hit him up before the honeymoon, see if he can get a baby in his wife, and then maybe we could just have him on the pod. He's an immensely talented guy.
Get a baby in his wife. My goodness.
I'm in Game of Thrones mode right now. I'm thinking
breeder. Just breed that bitch.
I think they're planning on it. His wife's lovely, Sierra. She's absolutely lovely. So I'm sure he's going to dump the doctor and her at some point.
Are you concerned about the optics that now the Barstool Breakfast crew is back together, except for Willie, and Willie is no longer part of the team? Oh, and he's getting his goddamn
watermelon
sweetness.
Stu Leonard's mug. Large
watermelon.
6 minutes into the episode, Large got his food delivery from Annie, who's been probably chopping it up downstairs and getting it ready for him the entire time.
Yeah. I'll pay you in dick later on. Yeah, I mean, it's Willie is doing the Morning Men show from 7 to 9 on Mad Dog Radio Sirius every day. So he's got his gig going on, and obviously we don't have a radio station to get the band back together. So we have been getting peppered with stuff. What are you guys doing? What are you guys going to do? There is no real plan. But if there was,
Shocker.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys, yeah. So, but if there was something that we could do, obviously I would jump on it. It was cool though, because everybody who hosted Barstool Breakfast was let go or had left except for me, JSB, Francis, Willie, and Black Brandon. So it was those, and then me. It was the 5 hosts, special hosts, and all of them gone except for me. So now Francis is back. So now I don't get that.
The curse of the breakfast was a cool thing that you were fighting off.
Yeah, and everybody who didn't advertise whatever T-shirts that day was Jared, YP, Willie, Joey Molinaro, and me. And everybody is gone. But you know what I'm saying? So there's like some exclusivity to it that I no longer have. Thanks, Francis.
Did you think that you were, when you were dying with your kidney stone, where you're like, oh my God, this is how I'm going out? Like, I didn't get fired from Barstool, but they're just going to kill me. That's how it's all going to end. Did that ever run through your mind at all? The curse of the breakfast show?
Yeah. By the way, 100%. I think my kidneys are doing well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, good stuff. What are we looking at in terms of piss? We're no longer red? Are we dealing yellow? Or are we back to clear now and everything is gravy?
Yeah, we're back to just about clear. Just about clear.
Can I get a quick lung check here? Do you have your lung machine here? Can we get a quick lung check to see how the old man's doing? He's eating his watermelon.
While I'm doing the lung check, Chaps, can we get an asshole update?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
No, I mean
my
cons.
hemorrhoids are a thing of the past right now.
I mean cons.
Cons?
Yeah, how's an asshole update?
Asshole update, cons.
Oh, he's fine. He's getting used to it.
How's the hemorrhoids?
Oh, good. Everybody's doing great down there. Everybody's doing wonderful. I did go down to my stepdad's funeral and got to go through all the records. Let me tell you, boys, had a wonderful time. They're way heavier than I expected. Way heavier. So I only had like this box of, it was like a soft box for vinyls to carry them. And it had like a seat belt strap on it. And I'm going through all these different boxes, and there were several boxes of records. And one of my favorite ones, by the way, that I got, Chicago Live at Carnegie Hall, Large. That's what I thought Chicago was. Just Peter Cetera, just stuff that was on the radio in the 80s that was like, your mom's going to be cleaning the house, so she's going to throw it on. Because the Lilac After Dark is the one that put it on the radio. I thought that's all Chicago was. Turns out, unbelievable musicians, those guys. Like, just... they are unreal. And the vinyl that I got, if you sit in the center of my office whenever I have it playing, the way that they did it at Carnegie Hall, you could almost feel like the way that the orchestra and the band is like set out, like the depth of the music, where it's at in terms of where they were recording. it's really a bizarre listening experience, something that I haven't experienced before on like CD or streaming services.
Hell yeah. The record talk, I think, was a hit last time. Did you see that Chicago got into some record talk too? The Barstool Chicago.
I did. Absolutely made a fool of myself with Chief. Assumed that he was talking about he didn't know why people listen to records, but he didn't know how they worked, which is pretty remarkable, really. When you look at it and you're like, how the fuck is music on there? It's not something that I'll ever understand. And I didn't know that when it was going, if you put your ear close to the needle, even if it's not hooked up to a stereo, you can hear it slightly just from the needle skipping over like the vinyl record.
I was not aware of that. And we said it in an episode last week. We said, if you gave us all the knowledge we have now from the future, sent us back to the 1800s and said, build a record player before you die, we would fail. There was no way we could do it.
Absolutely no way it happens.
It's incredible.
I think the only person who was shitting on the vinyl platform in that thing was from the clips that I had seen was White Sox Dave.
Yeah, makes sense. That checks out.
And I was like, oh, maybe I'll chime in. And I was like, is that the hill I'm going to die on?
Large, are we going to do our club that we talked about in the text?
Absolutely not. Fuck no.
Why? Why can't we do that? It'd be lovely.
I don't see myself having the discipline to do much, much less mail you a fucking record.
You just got to go on the Amazon. This is so low effort, Large. It would be lovely things for us to do. That's a very low-T thing.
Chicago, I'm a Man is on that one. I'm a man. Yes, I am. Right?
It's so good. I really enjoyed it.
Must be great on vinyl. White Sox Dave will never know.
Yeah, White Sox Dave is a big music guy. I was shocked that he was shocked that records are still a thing. Like, are they coming back? It's like, no, they're very much back. We have multiple people here who are listening to record as their number one way to go. I'm just a straight lazy person, so I've always gone streaming or iPhone or whatever. But I think I might get into the record player game myself, boys. And there was a Moana record. I went to Cracker Barrel for the first time in like 25 years the other day, just because I was like, you guys are always talking about it. It's like, let's go. We'll blow in the rocking chairs, play some checkers. It was fucking delightful. However, I forgot about this.
Hash brown casserole.
That was our.
That shit's fire too.
Everything is half the price that you think it should be, too. I was like, all right, we're just getting apps right off the bat. It was $5 for appetizers. Our meals were $12. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And I know why now, because you go in and out through the gift store. So my goddamn kids, they were just picking right off the shelves as soon as we got in, promising us they'd pay us when they got home. They never did.
But even the poor, like even if you're super poor, you can get you a candy at Cracker Barrel because they got those like 18 cents little candy canes that are in 18,000 different flavors, like watermelon and pepper.
I went to I did Rough N Rowdy last week. We're in Huntington, West Virginia. If you guys had gone with me, I went alone because I don't like anybody. I went to a local restaurant in Huntington, West Virginia.
You went to a local restaurant in Huntington, West Virginia?
Yeah, I had to go. And please tell me you guys would go with me next time. I'm gonna write a blog on this one, and I want you inside me. Name of it is Jim's Steak and Spaghetti.
Okay.
Jim's Steak
already in. Yeah.
Chaps, could you possibly be more in?
No, I mean that's like that place that I went to that I told you about in Maine. That they had two things on the menu: a turkey Thanksgiving like style menu with turkey and dressing and carrots, and then they had a calzone.
I wasn't on for that. I wasn't on for that episode.
That's the only thing. So I go in. I was like, "Do you have a menu?" She was like, "We don't really do menus. We have two things really that are available today." I said, "What is it?" She was like, "Well, we have a turkey dinner that's like very traditional, almost Thanksgiving style, and then we have a calzone." She said, "Which would you like today?" And I said, "You know what? Fuck it. I'll take them both."
Yeah, how could you not?
Yeah. My cousin Vinny, where it's like I'll have the breakfast. It just
yeah.
I walked in and the lady's like, "Well, what would you like?" Her name is Kelly. I said, "I'd love I was like, I don't see it on the lunch menu, but I'd love the steak and spaghetti. She's like, oh, yeah, we don't have it on the lunch menu. I'll just do the ribeye special that we do for dinner and a small side order of spaghetti for an extra $4.99. Does that sound okay? I was like, that sounds lovely. And she was like, these are our sides. They're sides you don't see anymore, like lima beans. I don't see lima beans on menus anymore.
Just a small bowl of water chestnuts.
Like an ashtray of lima beans. And then on the thing was one of the sides. One of the sides was
lima beans indoors.
butter potatoes. So I do these Syracuse salt potatoes where you put a pound of salt in a gallon of water, and it raises the salinity of the water so much it actually fucks with the boiling point. And when you drop baby potatoes in it, they actually cook from this intense heat they actually cook from the inside out. So when you take them out of the water, you let them dry on like a rack, and they get a crust, a salt crust on the outside of them. They're white. They look like they've been rolled in powdered sugar.
Incredible.
And then the inside of them are the consistency of mashed potatoes, Syracuse salt potatoes. They are, and there's science involved with that. Like these guys used to go to salt mines in Syracuse, bring a couple potatoes with them, these fucking filthy Irish ancestors of mine. And I was like, wow, I love this technology. I do them all the time. I was like, butter potatoes. What technology had the people in West Virginia found with butter and potatoes, two of my favorite things? So I said, I think I got to get the butter potatoes. What are they? Kelly says, oh, we boil potatoes, then we pour melted butter over them. I said, all right, give me
Genius.
So I sat down, and the gentleman had recognized me, the grandson of the owner. So he came over. He's like, you have to try our haddock. He brought me over like a piece of fish. And then like this older woman named Donna, big beehive, not a big beehive, but a beehive-ish hairdo. You save room for pie? I was like, oh my God. I was like, unfortunately, I don't eat really a lot of fruits. Like I saw you have fresh blueberry pie today. That's not my thing. She's like, how about the lightest chocolate pie you've ever had in your life? Oh, it was just absolutely perfect. You guys I can't.
Like a chocolate silk pie? Is that what it was?
A chocolate cream pie it was. I'll send you pictures. I took pictures. I went over to the JFK booth. JFK had eaten there once. You two guys, the three of us collectively would absolutely, because I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And it's made me angry about the fact that I've recently gone to Chili's because me and Finn were doing some, father son time. He chose Chili's. And I took my family to fucking Outback because I heard they had good wings. They don't. The fact that I took them to those two disgusting places as opposed to going to a place like hunting out a place like this and going to that hurts my fucking soul. So,
my mom and I did the same type of thing, largely because I had to go down to rural Central Florida, North Florida, and I hadn't been in a long time. And one of the interesting things about going back there, my mom has lived in that house since I was 18. The way that I look at the house in the surrounding area now as a 40-year-old comparatively to how I looked at it when I was 18 is just drastically different. I always viewed the house as being like in the middle of nowhere, exactly what you would picture in a North Florida environment. There's like peanut stands like along the side of the road. They got fresh peaches and honey anywhere you can stop, but there's no real gas stations and no real places to shop for food except for one small Walmart that's in the town. But now going back, it's like, oh, there's a lovely lake across the street that you can look at whenever it's fall and all the leaves are out of the tree. That would be lovely. Like seeing that people are bringing their boats out there and doing all that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed it, but we went to some of the smaller little restaurants in the area and my goodness, man, like it's the same type of thing. One of the places had like this enormous salad. I mean, it was enormous, like ungodly. It looked like they were about to dump it back into the Golden Corral trough for all the different piggies there to go pick up and eat like they're going to be healthy. And then there's a section of what you can put on there. And there's fresh flounder as one of the options. As you know, a flounder salad is one of the go-tos that many places have. Just mwah. And so it comes out and the flounder almost looks like grayish. It looks gray with a smattering of pepper and other seasonings on the top. And I think this is fancy here. Like this is a fancy meal. However, some of the other stuff that I had there, I don't recommend the grilled grouper salad, but some of the other stuff that they had, some of the best fried chicken I've had in years.
Yes.
Maybe the best hush puppies I've had in my life. Like there were certain things there. If you go to that place and you're looking for fucking a garden salad with grouper on top, you're probably going to end up with diarrhea. You just got to know that going in. But if you look around and you take your bearings, and I think this is where the military background comes in, you get your bearings on a place, you look around, you get your internal GPS going, and you say, you know what? I'm not going to get the grilled grouper salad today. I'm going with the fried rabbit and mashed potatoes. Ooh. And if you do that type of thing, you're in for a fucking treat, my friend.
Grouper on your 6.
Yeah.
You ever see people in the war do this?
That is what we do, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love that. By the way, Clem's going to have that experience because you're heading up to Toga.
Yeah, we're heading up to Toga.
It seems like that doesn't have, and maybe I'm wrong, it seems like that doesn't thrive on the Ponderosas and the chains and stuff. Like I have a buddy who has Lanzie's on the lake up there. I know you have a buddy who has like a restaurant also.
Shout out Druthers, A+ place if you're in Saratoga on Broadway, downtown.
Right. And I got Lanzie's, and like it seems like we're kind of dealing with the same thing. You know, like those places are great. Even when we used to go down to someplace in Florida, where we used to go down to? Out of Naples, that little Captiva Island. They don't allow Chili's and shit in there. So you have to go to, and I love fucking local places like that. Where I can get grouper and rabbit. Oh.
Although I did get a very non-local restaurant meal too. I feel like I stunted on everybody and maybe pulled off the most expensive order in the history of Crystals. Which do you guys know what Crystals is?
Burger.
Yeah, kind of like White Castle. It's like the southern version of White Castle. Went down, bought 2 48-packs of Crystals. I walked out of Crystals with over $100 bill, and the lady goes, "Where's the party at?" And I was like, "It's not a party, it's a funeral." She was like,
She gave you the
huh?
She gave you the
Yeah, she didn't know what to say. What do you say when you're handing somebody a sack full of 100 Crystals, 11 orders of fries, and 8 Cokes, and they say it's for a funeral? Yeah, I think you just say, okay, well, whatever happens, happens.
And I'm sure the food was delicious. I'm sure, everyone was happy to be fed. But there's something special about being a dad and your kids just seeing you come out with a comical amount of food. I still remember the first time I saw like a 6-foot hero, and I was like, what is this? This is going to our house right now? And they're just loading it up with the trays of chicken tenders and mozzarella sticks and all that stuff. So were the kids like, Dad, is this all ours?
They were shocked at the amount. They were like, there's no way they were going to eat that. And they were correct. My mom's like,
they were correct.
Deep freezer is probably half filled with Crystal burgers that she's going to throw into the air fryer at some point. It's going to be lovely. She's going to have that.
Mom,
it's going to be a great time.
The leftover rabbit is right next to all the leftover Crystals burgers.
Mm-hmm.
So Large, would you say that, do you think you would have as good a time with me and Chaps down in West Virginia as you did with Frank and Doug's driving 2.5 hours to and from the airport with Frank the Tank, which the Mets were, I think they were struggling. I think they lost one. I think they went 4-1 against their division rivals around the time of Rough N Rowdy. So was it tough going with Frank? And then Doug too was just in a prize fight, got the loss, but he went the distance. Shout out our boy Doug for going the distance.
Doug's was hyper-focused throughout the ride. Doug's was hyper-focused throughout the ride. And not even like a sense of impending doom, as you sometimes get with people who are about to walk into a ring for the first time. There's a certain depression that sometimes people get before they walk into the ring. As you may or may not. I think whenever you're competing, maybe if you're going up against something that's a Herculean task. So Doug's was relatively quiet. On the way down there, I played such old school hip hop and R&B that Doug's trainer, Leonidas is his full name.
Nice.
300. And we were kind of jamming to that. So, and we were in between Met games. So
I love the idea that Doug's just trying to get in his, and you guys are just like, how do I know that he really loves me?
Can you stand the rain? And so whenever Frank would even, I'd sort of turn up the radio because I'm not a Mets guy. I don't want to get down. I don't want to go down that. I'm not a baseball guy. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But on the way back, 2.5 hours on the way back, like a mere day and a half later, I switched. I said, we're going to do an old school country mix. And this is like 70s and 80s country, way back. Winds up me and Frank found some real common ground.
Oh,
yes.
Breaking on the Podfathers.
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the first song that came on was Eddie Rabbit, I Love a Rainy Night. A song, it's kind of an old school one. Mm-hmm. And Frank's like Belleville, New Jersey's own. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Eddie Rabbit was from. And that was what Frank was doing. Frank is this savant-y type guy. So every time something I was learning stuff throughout, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's blind? I'm like, I know this guy's blind. There's a lot of blind artists from back then, by the way. Right. There's just a handful of them.
You couldn't play baseball. What else were you going to do?
Yeah. Or,
I love this motherfucking guy. He was blind.
So, and then, even some of those, like if you get like Willie Nelson come on to sing You Were Always on My Mind, which I think he does a better job than Elvis. Doug's singing in the back. Doug's has got the voice of an angel.
Doug's does have a nice voice. I've heard him. I mean, that's
Oh.
people from North Florida also surprise you with the pipes because
Yeah.
everybody grew up singing in church. So you have to at least know a little bit how to carry a tune. Otherwise, you'll get kicked the fuck out of there.
A chin of granite and the voice of an angel.
Yeah,
Coach
there you
Doug's.
go.
By the way,
Coach
I
Doug,
got
everybody.
a lot of Florida trivia from Doug's. I forgot that he was a Florida guy for a second.
Same town as me.
Get out of
Florida
here,
man.
really? He's a
Yeah,
huge.
we're both Duval boys. Yep.
Yeah, so Clem, you never know how it's going to be. And by the way, they tried to go Kia Sophia on us. I told you guys that. They tried to go Ford Edge or comparable. And I think the one that they were putting us in was like a Kia Sophia or something like that. And I said, no fucking way.
No.
I paid out of pockets, 2.5 days in Huntington, Virginia to drive a gigantic Suburban, which was perfect. Perfect. I did all driving. Cost me $1,400.
Oh my god.
$1,400 I paid out of. I mean, I'm gonna get it
can
back.
we, since this is a parenting podcast, can we say I don't know if you're not a TikTok guy, right, Clem?
Nah, yeah, I just don't get into it.
Lars, did you see the thing that was going on TikTok on how to get a cheaper used car?
No.
So there was this really viral, I think it had like 5,000 likes on Twitter or something like that. So this woman teaches people financial hacks and essentially how to save your money, almost in the same vein as those super coupon people that we used to talk about. Same thing. So she goes to this website, and the first thing she does is put in her cart one large soda to an AMC theater. And then you go to checkout. When you go to checkout, it brings up all these other options, like whenever you go to Uber Eats, if you're getting something from McDonald's and you add in a fish fillet, they're like, what do you want? A 6-piece nugget to go along with that for $2.99. They do the same thing at this website that has the AMC soda, but instead of bringing up a chicken McNugget, it'll bring up hotels. It brings up cars. It brings up other vacation items. And one of the things you can put on is rental car. I looked in the area when I was going down to Florida. The cheapest rental car that I could find was like $65 a day. When I went to this place, it was like $30 a day for a manager special. And then they had a deal off of that was like 30% off of that. So I ended up getting a rental car in Florida for like $20 a day. And and it was whatever car that was available. So I get there to the airport, the smallest one, the Santa Fe and things like that. They give me an Altima. For like $15-20 a day, I got an Altima from doing that TikTok hack of just going and buying an AMC soda. And now the next time I go to an AMC, my Coke's already paid for, so I don't even got to bring my cup like Large does.
I haven't done that in ages. You know what, guys? I'm thinking about coming. First of all, Chaps, that's a great hack. I'm going to show you the receipt. It cost me like $1,357 to rent this car.
That's insane.
And I prepaid the gas. I know that everything's on there and whatever. I do all that shit. That's fucking insane. And since I've mentioned that to people have come out of the woodwork. Somebody said Turo. You ever hear that? Turo, where if you have, like, let's say you have a car and you're
I have it where you can rent it out. It's almost like Airbnb in your car.
Exactly what it is. You leave it at the gas station at the airport with the key in a lockbox. Somebody picks it up at the airport, drives your car, and there are people who own like fleets of cars for car services, which just makes a lot of sense for them to do. And supposedly it's a percentage of the price, and that's exactly it. It's Airbnb for car service. I didn't know any of this. And so when you go up to, the worst thing in the world to do is go up to an Avis or Budget or whatever and say, no, give me the biggest car you have. Because then it's like you're asking to rent a fucking Zeppelin. Like they just throw whatever they want out. And I'm like, done. Yeah, I just couldn't, like Frank's got bad ankles. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They And so I was like, I can't fucking jam this. And Doug's is a big dude.
455 pounds he weighed in. You're not fucking hopping into the back of a hatchback like that.
I said, who the fuck's going to sit behind me or Doug's? Frank? The trainer? Like behind me all the way back for two.
Good on Barstool for putting them in first class too. Throwing those fellows in a middle seat is just absolute torture.
By the way, first class to Cincinnati though is just bigger seats. I mean, they don't give you a warm towel.
I went on first class. I got upgraded from Houston to San Antonio. The guy basically, when I sat down, threw me a 6-ounce Dasani and a pretzel and a Bischoff cookie.
Yeah, same thing with Cincinnati. Is terrible.
Yeah. What do you expect? I guess
everyone was saying you don't really live up to the name. You weren't large for that. Those 2 rides. You were not large. You were medium by that point. You're the third. You're the 3rd biggest man. The trainer. I don't even know the trainer. Is the trainer bigger than you?
No. Leonidas was a regular folk. He wasn't amongst the land of giants. But the guy that Doug's fought, by the way, was 400 pounds, and he gained 50 to 450. Gotcha. Doug's was 50 pounds, and he lost about 50 to 450. Yeah. So they were almost, they were just about even and stuff like that. So it was, there was a lot of meat that this has got Trapzilla. Listen, I know it's not a port of call for many people, Huntington, West Virginia, but Chaps and I have been to Rough N Rowdy's before. There are some fucking characters that are impressive to see. Mm-hmm. Impressive fucking, and then there is the ring card girls, which are absolute cartoon characters. Some cartoon characters in there. I don't think that thing. Devlin does a great job. Shout out Devlin. Does a great job with that. I don't think it's broken. I'm hoping that thing sticks around for a little while.
Oh shit! So, hell of a trip down to West Virginia. We will get to a Rough N Rowdy together, and whether or not we also go to the steak and spaghetti together, or if that's just a business trip, a pleasure trip, at a different time, we'll see. But that is a Podfather promise to everyone out there. Got to hit on this real quick before we go. My girl, Bluey. No one realizes Bluey's a girl. Bluey the show is under attack. We had it's an Australian show made in Australia. Those fucking voices are absolutely delightful with those accents and all that stuff. Number 1 parent show, number 1 kid show in the world. There was a certain episode removed from the new season 3, which had just debuted. It was called Family Meeting. And basically in the episode, they're accusing the dad of farting, and there's a lot of fart jokes in it. And again, it's like a 6-minute episode. It's not 30 minutes worth of just farting. Apparently the people at Disney Plus in America over here in the States pulled it from the Disney Plus playlist because it has dog farts in it. They have also apparently removed episodes talking about pregnancy and divorce in the past. So either you're with Bluey or you're against Bluey. Where are the 2 guys that rebuke Bluey stand on this?
Let me just say, as somebody who has, I believe the downfall of the High Haters podcast was an artistic difference with some of the viewership. And I think it's basically in the same vein here. Whenever Casey stopped being on High Haters, I was doing a solo thing. I was like, maybe I'll just do some weird shit. So we had an experiment because there was a Twitter thread going around that for fellas, if you're taking a piss and you're holding onto your penis and you don't want any drips, you can just push up on the area in your taint, like between your balls and your butthole, and that will stop all the drips. So I had YP come into the bathroom, rip a piss, and then do the little touch, and he didn't have nary a drip. Well, it turns out that having somebody piss on your podcast is gross to a lot of people, and they don't like it. So we had to take down that episode, and I think that was essentially the demise of High Haters, really.
So you think Bluey's in trouble right now due to this?
He's going to have to come back quickly. He's going to have to get another episode in the hopper. You just cannot let that one hang out for a whole week or a month before you release a new one. Otherwise, there's going to be hell to pay. The sponsors are not going to enjoy it.
Do you find it ironic that the haters might be the thing that actually killed High Haters?
I find it apropos.
Apropos. That is the word.
Well played, haters.
Yeah. You got me this round, you motherfuckers.
Goodbye, haters.
I'm glad. I hope didn't we rebuke it?
Yeah.
Chaps? Wasn't it a 2-1
vote
on that?
I hate rebuking somebody. I hate sticking around. I feel like I have to support a fellow farter. I mean,
fart jokes are funny, aren't they, guys?
If Podfathers can't laugh at farts, what are we doing here?
I think cum is the new farts.
Yeah,
so,
true.
So if there was a cum episode on Bluey,
okay, Bluey needs to walk in and be like, "This whole place smells like badussy."
yeah. Oh, Bluey, why is there cum everywhere? Like, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing would be.
I fucking nutted.
Yeah. You're talking about 7-year-old girl dogs right now, just for the record, right now.
I mean, that's 49.
I'm not.
Sure. That is true. Chaps makes a very good point.
Yeah, that's a menopausal girl.
I guess, like,
he's
so
in serious heat.
They're Australian dogs, as I said, so they could say cunt, right? I feel like cunt's not a
Oh,
very
yeah.
bad
Yeah,
word
they
for
say it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a right cunt, isn't he? He just fucking farted. Ooh, daddy farted.
And me the juice box, you're right, cunt. it's like Butcher from The Boys.
Yeah.
By the way,
like it's a fucking caravan, is it? It's Bluey's bowl.
All right, so I think we have I'm trying to mend fences here between you two, the rest of the pod fam, which I think all loves Bluey. You guys don't love Bluey, but you've also never seen Bluey, which is an instant caveat on the review.
And I'm out on Miss Rachel too.
You're at him. Oh, wow. Nikki the Good.
So am I. I don't even know who Miss Rachel is.
Yep,
I don't like the cut of her jib. I'd like to see a picture of her ASAP.
In my day, we appreciated Lamb Chop and Charlie Horse. Whatever happened to those fellas?
I'll rebuke the shit out of Miss Rachel. You want to? I'll rebuke her. She's on YouTube. I hate YouTube. YouTube. Ryan is the biggest motherfucker of all time. I always thought people didn't like Ryan because he made millions of dollars playing with toys. Those shows are an abomination, chaps. To quote, to borrow a phrase.
You're absolutely right.
The family is the absolute pits. The mom, the dad, Ryan is not even the worst of the fucking bunch. It's an absolute abomination to the Lord, and it makes my kids dumber, and it turns them into hissing zombies. So
Preston, the Minecraft and Fortnite guy, is awful too.
Yes. Yep.
Miss Rachel is also the name of a female wrestler. I don't know if you guys have known that, but on the
also shout out Miss Elizabeth though.
Oh, shout out R.I.P. in peace. Yeah.
Yeah, I spent the whole WrestleMania standing on a chair taking pictures of her without taking the cap off of a camera. How old I am.
That's a pop move.
That's in Atlantic City. I was a kid.
WrestleMania 4. Oh, you saw the Macho Man get his title, huh?
Yeah, I was there live.
Wow. That was my first ever crush. That was my first ever crush.
Macho Man?
Yeah, Macho Man. I loved him. Loved the cut of his jib.
I wanted to snap into that Slim Jim.
In the universe.
Oh, I bought the big Jim the other day. Finn's into jerky now, which is the most sensible thing I've ever just said on this show. Finn's into jerky. He was whittling the other day, and he decided, hey, I'm a jerky guy. So I bought. I've been buying jerky, and we've been enjoying it. And then we were on the road in Alabama, and we saw big Jims, not Slim Jims. They're fucking.
We're going jerky, not jerk, right? Not like the normal Italian rules.
Yes, and so we haven't done it yet. Slim Jims are disgraceful. They're not real jerky. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But every now and again, they used to have them in the office, the little tiny ones. I used to pop them every now and again, and then get some acid reflux. So I bought a big Jim, and I got to get into it one of these days. It's like the size of a paint roller. I can't wait.
I can't believe that is the first I've ever heard of the Big Jim. I feel like that would have come around the 90s when we were supersizing everything. The Big Jim would have been around then. We got to Finn eating jerky, so I think we've done our due diligence for the day. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe and stay sane, and we'll see you then.